Hi everyone, welcome back. Myself Anjita Arvind. Today we are discussing the second classification of drugs which comes under psychopharmacology, that is antidepressants. So today we are discussing the classification and pharmacology of antidepressant drugs. So shall we start with a brief description on antidepressant agents. First of all, we will discuss what is depression. Then only we can study the antidepressant agents or drugs. So, what is depression? Here you can see that the Mickey and the Minnie Mouse both are very sad. It may be due to some emotional or environmental stresses too. And sometimes it may lead to an illness, that is depressive illness. So, depression. Major depressions and mania are two extremes of affective disorders and which refers to pathological changes in the mood state. So, the mood of a person will changes and this may leads to depression, and sometimes the depression may increases and it may leads to an illness state, that is the depressive illness or depressive disorders may occur. At that time we can use the antidepressant agents. So the antidepressant agents, these are the drugs which can be elevate the mood in depressive illness state. So it will elevate or change the mood of the patient. So antidepressants are the agents used in affective disorders or the disturbances, mainly to treat depressive disorders caused by emotional or environmental stressors. And several group of affective disturbances are treatable by antidepressants. So now we can see what all drugs are come under the antidepressants. What are the classifications and which all are the drugs comes under each classifications. Here is the classification of antidepressants, and antidepressants are mainly classified into 5 categories, and the first one is reversible inhibitors of MAOA. And MAOA, which is a mitochondrial enzyme involved in the oxidative deamination of biogenic enzymes, and the two isoenzyme form of MAO has been identified. First one is the MAOA and another one is the MAOB. Here we are discussing the MAOA, and antidepressants which reversibly inhibit this MAOA. Examples of these drugs are meclobamide and chlorgyline. And the second category is non-selective MAO inhibitors. Examples are phenelzine and isocarboxide. And the third categories are tricyclic antidepressants, TCAs, that is non-adrenergic and 5-hydroxytryptamine reuptake inhibitors, and predominantly noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors. These are the two categories comes under tricyclic antidepressants, and the first one for examples are imipramine, amitriptyline, trimipramine, chlorimipramine, and lofepramine, doxepin, and dothepins, and predominantly non-adrenaline reuptake inhibitors. The examples are desipramine, amoxapins, and nortriptylines. And the fourth categories are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRI, and examples are fluoxetines, fluoxamines, paroxetines, sertalins, citalopram, and also acetaloprams. And the last fifth category is atypical antidepressants, otherwise known as the novel compounds. Novel means newly synthesized compounds, and it is categorized into two. First one is selective noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors, SNRIs, and other drugs. Selective noradrenaline reuptake inhibitor include robaxetines, and the others, many compounds comes under the others, that is the trazodones, nafazodones, mianserins, mirtazapines, and venlafaxines, tianeptines, amineptines, bupropion, and milansipram. These are the drugs which comes under atypical antidepressants in others. So this is the classification of antidepressants. So mainly classified into 5 categories: reversible inhibitors of MAOA and non-selective MAO inhibitors, tricyclic antidepressants, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and atypical antidepressants or novel compounds. And now we will discuss the mechanism of action of antidepressants, how these drugs acts on our body. The mechanism or mode of action of antidepressant is given here. So we already said that the depression is a common clinical condition which is associated with the feeling of sadness, also loss of interest, self-neglect, anorexia, sleep disturbances, and suicidal feeling in severe conditions too. So the various hypotheses have been proposed for the pathogenesis of depression, which may include decrease in the level of function of monoamines. Monoamines include 5-hydroxytryptamine, norepinephrine, and dopamines. So, the level or function of these monoamines may decrease in the cortical and the limbic system, or decrease in the brain-derived neurotropic factors. And also there is an abnormalities in thyroid function and sex steroid levels. So, these all are the pathological conditions which may appear at the depression level. So, we already studied the classification, and the classification we noted there is a classification of tricyclic antidepressants. So, when we considering the mechanism of tricyclic antidepressants, the tricyclic antidepressants which inhibit norepinephrine transporter and serotonin transporter. So, when it blocks or inhibit the norepinephrine transporter, reuptake of the norepinephrine into neuron and enhance reuptake may increases and enhances the availability of norepinephrine at the receptors in the central nervous system. And when it inhibits the serotonin transporter, block the reuptake of 5-HT into the neuron and enhances the availability of 5-HT at the receptors in the CNS. So, this is the mechanism which will happen when we are taking a tricyclic antidepressant. That is, it may block the norepinephrine transporter, also it may inhibit the serotonin transporter, and it may lead to many side effects too. And another classification is the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. When we considering the mechanism, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, for examples, are the fluoxetine, fluoxamines, citalopram, escitalopram. These all are comes under the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and its mechanism is it inhibits the serotonin transporter. So, its name says that it is selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So, it inhibits the reuptake of serotonin. So, when we considering the mechanism, it inhibits the serotonin transporter and block the reuptake of 5-hydroxytryptamine into the neurons, and it may lead to increase the availability of 5-HT receptors at the 5-HT at the receptors of the CNS and enhances the serotonergic activity. So, this is the mechanism of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And when we considering the serotonin and noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors, which is a classification of antidepressants. For examples, the venlafaxine and duloxetine. These are the examples comes under the selective and noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors. And its mechanism is it inhibits the reuptake of the serotonin and noradrenaline into the neurons. So, serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. They inhibit the reuptake of the serotonin and noradrenaline. So, it is the mechanism behind the antidepressants in various classes, and also there is MAO inhibitors. MAO is an enzyme. It is a mitochondrial enzyme. It is involved in the oxidative deamination of the biogenic amines. So, here MAO-A inhibitors is there. MAO inhibitors. MAO-A, which preferentially deaminates the 5-HT and noradrenaline and is inhibited by the chlorglycerin and meclobamide. These are the examples of the MAO-A inhibitors. So, this is the mechanism behind or mode of action of antidepressants in our body. Mainly for 4 situations we are using the antidepressant drugs, and here I added the uses of antidepressant drugs. And the first one is various kind of depression state. The depression may be of depressive episodes, dysthymia, reactive depression, secondary depression, abnormal grief reactions. For all these conditions which comes under the depression state, we are using the antidepressant drugs. And another condition is childhood psychiatric disorders, which may be more common in children. That is, neurosis, separation anxiety disorder, somnambulism, school phobia, and night terrors. For all these conditions, we are using the antidepressant drugs. And the third category is the other psychiatric disorders, which may occur for an adult or children's too. That is panic attack, generalized anxiety disorder, agoraphobia or social phobia, and OCD with or without depression. OCD means the obsessive compulsive disorders, and eating disorders, and borderline personality disorders, and post traumatic stress disorders, and depersonalization syndromes. For all these conditions, we are using the antidepressant drugs. And the next one is the other medical disorders such as chronic pain, migraine, and peptic ulcer diseases. For these two, we are using the antidepressants as a medication. Now we will discuss the pharmacokinetic and contraindications of antidepressant drugs. One of the classification of antidepressants is tricyclic antidepressants. The oral absorption of the tricyclic antidepressants is good, though often slow too. And the antidepressants are highly bound to the plasma and tissue proteins. Therefore, they have a large volume of distributions, and they are extensively metabolized in the liver, and the metabolites are excreted in urine over 1 to 2 weeks. The plasma T-half of, for example, amitriptyline, imipramine, and doxepin, which may range over 16 to 24 hours, and the T-half is longer for some of their active metabolites too. And when we considering the contraindications, the antidepressants are given with caution to patients with cardiovascular disorders because they may cause arrhythmias, and they increase the symptoms of psychosis and mania in cases of manic depressive psychosis. And also the drugs are given with caution to prevent with liver disorders. So these are the contraindications of antidepressant drugs. For all drug we are taking, there may be a side effects, such as antidepressants also have some side effects. The autonomic side effects of antidepressants are dry mouth, constipation, cycloplegia, mydriasis, urinary retention, orthostatic hypertension, impotence, impaired ejaculation, delirium, and aggravation of glaucoma. These all are the autonomic side effects of antidepressants. And the CNS side effects are sedation, tremor, and other extrapyramidal symptoms, and withdrawal symptoms, seizures, and precipitation of mania. And when we considering the cardiovascular system, the cardiovascular side effects are tachycardia, ECG changes, arrhythmias, and direct myocardial depression, quinidine-like action, that is a decreased conduction time. And the allergic side effects of antidepressants are agranulocytosis, cholestatic jaundice, skin rashes, and systemic vasculitis. And the metabolic and endocrine side effect is the weight gaining. So when we are taking the antidepressant drugs, it may causes weight gain, increase in our body weight. And the special effects of MAOI, that is MAO inhibitors drugs, are the hypertensive crisis and severe hepatic necrosis and hyperpyrexia. These all are the side effects of antidepressant drugs. So now we completed the pharmacology of antidepressant drugs, and last we discussed the side effects of antidepressants, and here I added the responsibility of nurses, because a nurse or a caretaker is monitoring or caring the patient who is suffering from the depressive illness, and they can easily understand if there is any side effects or any complications which is occurring in that patient. So the observation of the side effects and monitoring the changes noted are very significant to prevent the complications due to the antidepressant drugs. That's why here I added the responsibility of the nurses or the caretaker who is caring the patient. So the nurses or the caretaker should encourage the patient to take medicine at bedtime due to a sedative effect and dryness of the mouth to decrease, and give plenty of fluid to the patient orally, like lemonade or chewing gum should be given. A few sip of water also help the patient to decrease the dryness of mouth. And do not give medicine in empty stomach, as the patient complains of nausea or vomiting. And antidepressant like tricyclic drugs, begin therapeutic effect within 4 to 8 weeks. So, accurate recording of the observation should be made. And if the patient complains of dizziness or lightheadedness, he or she should be encouraged to get up slowly and sit in the bed before standing. These symptoms may be due to orthostatic hypotension, and the patient should be reassured that these symptoms are for a short period only. And some patients may present hypertension too. An accurate recording of the vital signs like BP and pulse rate, these all are recorded accurately in daily. And the nurse should be able to interpret the blood reports, specifically the blood sugar level and WBC count. If the patient complains of sore throat, fever, and malaise, it should be reported to the physician on duty, and these symptoms may be due to agranulocytosis or hyperglycemia. And if the patient is presenting symptoms of pressure of speech, increased motor activity, and elevated mood, the physician should be informed and the drug should be stopped immediately to avoid the side effects. So, these are the responsibility of a nurse or a caretaker who is monitoring or caring the patient who is suffering from the depressive illness. So, that's all about the antidepressant drugs and its pharmacology. Now we completed the pharmacology of antidepressant drug. On the next session, we will discuss the pharmacology of mood stabilizing agents. Thank you all.